Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
So, it's tradition in February to explore the topic of love. And I know that, if we're not in a romantic relationship, it can be a little uncomfortable. For some, others, it's like, that's okay. We're good with that. But this is a really, really safe place to be. So whatever's going on, it doesn't matter. You're safe here. And our theme this month is on the wings of love. And it's the wings of love of the divine that we are talking about. Not romantic love between people, but the love of spirit. So each week this month, we're looking at different aspects of love, of the divine, as we spread our wings and fly into. And I think I left this on here. Living in light and laughter, and that was last week. And today is O, exploring God's omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience. I was waiting for more to come in there. V, next week will be vision and vitality. And finally, we will have E, enlightened enthusiasm. Yes, that'll be fun. So today, God's omnipresent, omniscience, and omnipotence. So how many of you learned these terms in religion in your childhood? Did you ever hear of these in your child? You did, okay. I have a story about the omnipresence here. The children were lined up in the cafeteria of a Catholic elementary school for lunch, and at the head of the table was a large pile of apples. The nun had made a note, and she posted it on the apple tray. It said, "Take only one, God is watching." Moving further along the lunch line, at the other end of the table was a large pile of chocolate chip cookies. And a child had written a note that said, "Take all you want, God is watching the apples." Again, God is omnipresent, eyes on the apples as well as eyes on the chocolate chip cookies. God is omnipotent, meaning all-powerful, and all power and powerful, and God is omniscient, meaning all-knowing. And how many of us as children found this idea maybe of being ever-present, all-powerful, and all-knowing kind of a judge, condemner as a child, a little bit troubling. It's like, oh, God, tell me do this. I know I did. It was like, whoops, that as a child, that was a little troubling. Wait, was he watching? I don't know.
Making those deals and promises, I remember that.
Yeah, okay, I promise that I will not do that, but I'll do this if I can just have, or if my mom won't find out.
Here's the deal.
Yeah, here's the deal. But nowhere, I have to find my book here, nowhere in this book, The Science of Mind, nowhere in this book will you find anything that says that God condemns or judges. Nowhere in this book. I think that's why I like it so much. Well, that and about a million other things. So listen to this. This is on page 502 of Science of Mind. It is impossible for a sane person to believe that God delights in condemning or damning anyone. God is natural goodness and eternal loving kindness and holds nothing against anyone. Isn't that nice? Or on page 383, he writes, "No one judges us but ourselves. No one judges us but ourselves. We need not fear either God or the devil. There is no devil, and God is love." In fact, nowhere in this book will we find anything other than references to God as the very essence of love. So listen to these simple statements. These are from the book as well. Ultimately, we shall see that the universe rests on the shoulders of love, that God is love. And on page 460, God is love. The love of God is omnipresent. Oh, there's one of our words again. God is the divine givingness, the eternal outpouring of spirit through its creation. On page 478, a universal sense alone bears witness to the divine fact. God is love and love is God. And I love the moving words from Unity co-founders Charles Fillmore on the Talks and Truth. And he writes, "The love of God for his children is beyond description, a love so tender and so deep that it cannot be mentioned excuse me, in the same breath with the ordinary love as known by the world. The great love of being is deeper and wider than the thoughts and the words of humanity have compassed since the beginning of language." Beautiful. So, we believe that God as love, not as judge, is omnipresent, everywhere present, surrounding, enfolding, filling every nook and cranny of existence, filling every nook and cranny of you. That's what you are made of. God as love, not as condemner, is omnipotent, all-powerful, all power, and all-powerful. Holmes tells us on 302 of the Science of Mind, all the power of the universe is with you. Feel it, know it, and then act as though it were true. The universe is inexhaustible. It is limitless, knows no bounds, and has no confines. We are not depending on a reed shaken by the wind, but on the principle of life itself. For all that we have or ever shall need, it is not some power or a great power. It is all power. And on page 40 in the Science of Mind, we are surrounded by a mind or intelligence that knows everything. The abstract essence of beauty, truth, and wisdom coexist in the mind of the universe, and we exist in it and may draw from it. Now, this kind of omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscience may be an entirely different story from our earlier understanding. True? Maybe a little bit. And that's where I want us to get to today at a very, very deep level. This is what I want to embrace and for us to feel into, because we want to come from the heart. We want to take the intellectual that we know in our brains, but feel into it with our hearts. So sometimes it helps to have an illustration on the earthly plane, because how do we experience God, really, but through our human experience? Sometimes it's internal, through the feelings and visions and knowledge that we might have, and sometimes it's through outer experiences, like seeing those poppies on the side of the road, just that burst of colorful beauty. It's like, how could that not be God, right? This illustration comes from the Vietnamese Buddhist Thich Nhat Hanh in his book, Peace is Every Step. He talks about the idea of interbeingness, meaning within everything is everything. It's kind of an interesting concept to meditate on. Within everything is everything. And for our purposes this morning, I will explain that definition to say that within everything is everything, and that everything is an expression of God's omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient love. This little experiment is similar to one I've talked about before, so you might recognize it. So, you see this piece of paper? If you really get that within everything is everything, and that everything is an expression of God's omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient love, then you will see clearly that this sheet of paper is God. Everybody see that? This sheet of paper is God. Yes? No? Maybe not? Okay. Well, we're going to go through this so that we'll all get on the same page. Okay? According to Thich Nhat Hanh, floating above this piece of paper is a cloud. Why? Because without a cloud, there would be no rain. Without rain, trees cannot grow. The cloud is essential for this paper to exist. If the cloud is not here, the sheet of paper cannot be here either. If we look into the sheet of paper even more deeply, we can see sunshine in it. Without sunshine, the forest cannot grow. And so we know that the sunshine is also in this sheet of paper. And if we continue to look, we can see the logger who cut the tree, and the river that brought the logs to the mill are in this piece of paper. And we see wheat. We know that the logger cannot exist without his daily bread, and therefore the wheat that became his bread is also in this sheet of paper. The logger's father and mother are in it too. When we look at it this way, we see that without all of these things, this sheet of paper cannot exist. Looking even more deeply, we can see ourselves in this sheet of paper as well. This is not difficult to see because when we look at the sheet of paper, it is part of what? Our perception. We're the ones perceiving this sheet of paper. Your mind is in here and mine is also in here. So we can say that everything is in here with this sheet of paper. We cannot point out one thing that is not here. Time, space, the earth, rain, minerals, the sunshine, the cloud, the river, the heat, you and me. Everything coexists within the sheet of paper. The sheet of paper is because everything else is. We are because everything else is. This piece of paper is a physical manifestation of God's omnipresence, omnipotence, and omniscient love. And so are each and every one of you. Discover the reality of God's presence and almighty love within you right now. And whatever you may be having going on in your life right now, if there's discord, if there's dis-ease, if there's discomfort or distress, know that God's omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient love is your perfect life. Call a revealing of the truth forth in any of these areas by recognizing your oneness with God's love. Jesus said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free." And many of us, myself included, know about the truth. But it still remains an intellectual process. Boy, I'm really good thinking about it and, dissecting it and bringing it down to, but it's still up here. I haven't embodied it here. Our intellect must be spiritualized. It must be brought into our heart. We can often live a kind of surface life, knowing about things. Well, I know that. Well, I know that. Yeah, I've heard of that too. I've read that author, But we don't really embody it or understand it. We give new birth to ourselves by knowing the truth. Knowledge and wisdom sometimes are two different things. The time will come when we realize that there is nothing to heal. There is nothing to heal. There is only something to know. Something to know. And that something to know is that God's love is everywhere present. It's all-powerful and knows all that needs to be known. Now that's where I get impatient, because I want to know it right then. And maybe it's not at that time that I'm supposed to know it, but it's all unfolding exactly as it should. The love of God is your love. New Thought founding mother, Emma Curtis Hopkins, she wrote in the Scientific Mental Christian Practice, and Holmes was her student. And she has some very, very powerful affirmations. I really just love her. She says, and we're going to do them together here this morning. So let's do these together. I'll read them and then we'll have you repeat them. The good I am seeking is my God. The good I am seeking is my God. My God is my life.
My God is my life.
The good I am seeking is my health. The good I am seeking is my health. God is my health.
God is my health.
The good I am seeking is my strength.
The good I am seeking is my strength.
God is my strength.
God is my strength.
The good I am seeking is my support. The good I am seeking is my support. God is my support.
God is my support.
Life is God.
Life is God.
Truth is God.
Truth is God.
Love is God.
Love is God.
Substance is God.
Substance is God.
God is intelligent, omnipresent. God is intelligence.
God is intelligent.
Omnipresent.
Omnipresent.
Omnipotent.
Omnipotent.
Omniscient.
Omniscient.
God is life.
God is life.
Omnipresent.
Omnipresent.
Omnipotent.
Omnipotent.
Omniscient.
Omniscient.
God is truth.
God is truth.
Omnipresent.
Omnipresent.
Omnipotent.
Omnipotent.
Omniscient.
Omniscient.
God is love.
God is love.
Omnipresent.
Omnipresent.
Omnipotent. Omniscient.
Omniscient.
Emma tells us, have some special time to make these statements of being. These will make you a great thinker. Maybe that should be our t-shirt. I am a great thinker. There we go. This will make you a great thinker. The mind of God will think through you. The words of God will speak through you. The joy of God will sing through you. The skill of Spirit will work miracles through you. The beauty of God will inspire you. The love of God will melt the hard lot of humankind before you. You will be so one with your words that you will be able to say with Jesus Christ, I and the Father are one. You will drop off the garments of flesh. You will see that by speaking the truth, you are spirit, and that by speaking the truth, you are omnipotent. I want to end our time today with a meditation and activity which gives us the opportunity to feel God's presence everywhere. So if you'd like to join me, please relax. And focus on your breath. Breathing in and out. Become very aware of your breathing. Breathe in and out. Now reflect on the presence of God in the atmosphere everywhere around you. Spirit and breath come from the same root word. Sense the love of God everywhere around you, going in and out of you with each breath. This is the omnipresence of God's love. Focus on my voice and recognize that as it goes in your ears, the vibration sends a message to your brain which translates the vibration into something that you understand. Know that this is the omniscience, the all-knowing intelligence of God's love. Turn your attention to the sensations within your body. Notice the feeling of your skin, the touch of your clothing on your skin. Feel the sensations in your mouth, your tongue resting on your teeth. Notice any bodily sensations and reflect that every sensation is the biochemical process of the energy and power that is the creative life within you. Feel God's power, God's omnipotence at work within you. And now take this outside of yourself, and in a moment, not yet, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes. And as you do, realize that everything you are looking at is a manifestation of God's love. Now open your eyes, and in the silence, look around the room at everything and everyone. And say to yourself, so this is what God looks like. Look at our fellow congregants here. Look at the walls. Look at the clock. Look at the screen, the candles. Look at the flowers. Look at the chairs. So this is what God looks like. Realize that everywhere you look, you are looking at the ever-present, all-knowing power of God's love in expression. And so it is.